Hello students, welcome to the lecture 4 on the chapter Ray Optics and Optical Instruments. Okay, in first 3 lectures we studied about reflection of light, and in this lecture we will be studying refraction of light. Topics to be discussed in this lecture are refraction of light, laws of refraction, lateral shift and normal shift. Refraction of light. Whenever light travels obliquely from one transparent medium to another transparent medium, the direction of light changes or its direction changes, and this phenomena is called refraction. In case of refraction, there is change in the direction of light as well as there is change in the direction of medium also. Now let us see the definition of refraction of light. The phenomena of change in the path of light as it goes from one medium to another medium is called refraction of light. Okay, I have a picture here, and this picture consists of a glass, and glass contains a liquid, and that liquid is water, and we have a red rod here. Okay, instead of a ray of light I am taking a rod, and when this rod is dipped in the water, initially the direction of this rod is along this direction, and when it enters the medium mixed with air and glass, its direction changes, and that is due to refraction. Again, when it enters the medium mixed with glass and water, the direction of rod is along this direction. Actually, the direction of rod should be along this direction, but the direction is changed. Why it is changed? Because of refraction of light or because of refraction. Okay, now let us see what happens when a ray of light travels from a rarer medium to denser medium. Here there are two mediums. One medium is rarer medium and another medium is denser medium. These two mediums are separated by interface XY. Okay, the upper medium is rarer medium and the lower medium is denser medium, and these two are separated by interface XY. Consider an incident light striking at point O at interface. Here AO is incident ray. It is travelling in rarer medium. Draw a normal at the point of incidence, and this normal is represented by Mn. What is normal here? Okay, this line is perpendicular to the interface at point of incidence, and this perpendicular line is called normal. And then this incident ray enters denser medium. When it enters denser medium, it changes its direction and bends towards the normal. Why it bends towards the normal? When a ray of light travels from rarer medium to denser medium, its velocity decreases, and due to this the ray bends towards the normal. The initial direction is along dotted line, but when it enters denser medium, it is changing its direction. It is moving away from its initial direction. Hence, by this we come to know that when a ray of light travels from rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. The angle between incident ray and normal is angle of incidence, and the angle between refracted ray and normal is angle of refraction, and the angle between refracted ray and initial direction of the incident ray is angle of deviation, and it is given by d equal to I minus r. By this, we can conclude that when a ray of light travels from a rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. Okay, now let us discuss what happens when a ray of light travels from denser medium to rarer medium. Again, we have two mediums here. One is denser medium and other one is rarer medium. Here, initially the ray is traveling in denser medium, and after that it travels through rarer medium. And these two mediums are separated by an interface XY. Okay, here upper medium is denser medium and lower medium is rarer medium, and these two mediums are separated by interface XY. Consider an incident ray which is traveling in denser medium and striking at interface at point O. Now draw a normal at point O, and this normal is MON, and this is perpendicular to XY. Now this incident ray travels through rarer medium. Here it changes its direction and it bends away from the normal. See, it is bending away from the normal. Its direction is along dotted line. Okay, when it travels from denser medium to rarer medium, the refracted ray bends away from the normal. It bends away from the normal. Why it bends away from the normal? Because the velocity of refracted ray increases, and due to this it bends away from the normal. Again, I is the angle of incidence, and that is the angle between incident ray and normal. And R is the angle of refraction, that is the angle between refracted ray and the normal. And the angle between refracted ray and incident ray is angle of deviation, and it is given by R minus I. Okay, finally, we can conclude that when a light travels from denser medium to rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. Okay, next, laws of refraction. Okay, there are two laws of refraction, and let us see them one by one. First one, the incident ray, the refracted ray and normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. Okay, here XY is interface of medium 1 and 2. Okay, let AO be the incident ray, MN is normal, and OB is refracted ray. Here the ray is moving from medium 1 to medium 2. When it moves from medium 1 to medium 2, it changes its direction. Incident ray, refracted ray and the normal all lie in the same plane at the point of incidence. Okay, this is first statement. Second one, the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is a constant for a given pair of media and for light of given wavelength. Okay, these two conditions are important one. The ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is constant for a given pair of media, and for a given wavelength of light. That is, here we have two medium 1 and medium 2, and I is the angle of incidence and R is the angle of refraction. Then by the above statement we can show that this law is called as Snell's law. Why it is called as Snell's law? Because it was studied by Snell, or these statements were given by a great scientist called Snell. Okay, that is sin I divided by sin R is equal to constant, that is equal to n to 1, where n represents refractive index. See here, the light is rays traveling from first medium to second medium, first medium to second medium, where n to 1 represents refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium, refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. Okay, this is constant for a given pair of media, for a given pair of two mediums. Okay, here n to 1 is called relative refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. Okay, now let us discuss few important points which will be useful in competitive exams. Absolute refractive index of a medium. We'll see what is this absolute refractive index of a medium. It is the ratio of velocity of light in vacuum to the velocity of light in medium, that is n equal to c divided by v. See, if you take the ratio of velocity of light in the vacuum to the medium, then the refractive index is simply represented by n. Here c is velocity of light in vacuum and v is velocity of light in medium. For example, Ng, where Ng represents refractive index of glass, is equal to ratio of velocity of light in vacuum to the velocity of light in glass medium. That is, absolute refractive index of glass is equal to velocity of light in free space divided by velocity of light in glass. Okay, next, relative refractive index. It is the ratio of velocity of light in medium 1 to the velocity of light in medium 2. So when do we call it as relative refractive index? When the medium, one of the medium is other than vacuum or free space. That is, n21 is equal to n2 divided by n1, where n2 is refractive index of second medium and n1 is refractive index of first medium. That is equal to v1 divided by v2, where v1 is velocity of light in first medium and v2 is velocity of light in second medium. Third point, velocity is directly proportional to wavelength. Okay, this we have studied in first PUC. In waves, velocity of wave is directly proportional to wavelength of wave. With this relation, we can write the expression for refractive index. That is, refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium is equal to n21 divided by n21 is equal to n2 divided by n1 is equal to v1 divided by v2, that is equal to lambda 1 divided by lambda 2. Okay, you should remember this relation. This relation is very, very important from the point of competitive exams, where lambda 1 is the wavelength of light in first medium and lambda 2 is the wavelength of light in second medium. As you know that when a light travels from one medium to another medium, its wavelength changes. Its wavelength changes. Fourth point, when a ray of light travels from medium of absolute refractive index n1 to the absolute refractive index of n2, Snell's law can be written as n1 sin I is equal to n2 sin R. Okay, when a ray of light travels from absolute refractive index of medium is N12, absolute refractive index N2, then Snell's law can be written as N1 into sin I is equal to N2 into sin R. Fifth point, medium with higher refractive index is optically denser and with low refractive index is optically rarer. For example, if you take a air medium, refractive index is low. If you take glass medium, refractive index is high, hence it is optically denser. Glass is optically denser and air is optically rarer. Sixth point, since the path of light is retraceable, when you go in reverse direction, it is retraceable. It passes through the same path, whatever the path it has traveled initially, and we can write as N21 is equal to 1 divided by N12. That is, refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium is equal to reciprocal of refractive index of first medium with respect to second medium. For example, refractive index of glass medium with respect to water is equal to reciprocal of refractive index of water to glass medium. Seventh point, Snell's law is not applicable for normal incidence. That means if the ray is incident normally to the interface, then Snell's law is not valid. It is not applicable. Okay, here this is the interface between two medium, and upper medium is rarer medium and lower medium is denser medium, and this is the normal, and if the ray is incident along the normal, then it travels along the straight line, it does not deviate. Hence, Snell's law is not applicable for normal incidence. Lateral shift. When a ray of light travels or passes through a parallel sided glass slab, the direction of emergent ray is as same as the direction of incident ray, but the path of ray is shifted laterally by certain distance, and this distance is called lateral shift. Okay, the definition is like this. When a ray of light passes through a parallel sided optical medium, the perpendicular distance between the emergent ray and the direction of incident ray is called lateral shift. Okay, we have a picture here, and there is a torch and light is incident on this parallel sided optical medium at this point, and when it enters the denser medium, it changes its direction and moves along this direction, and again it is the ray is coming out of denser medium to rarer medium, and the ray travels along this direction. Okay, here the direction of incident ray and emergent ray are in the same direction, but there is lateral shift between the, or there is a separation between the incident ray and emergent ray by certain distance, and this separation is called lateral shift. Okay, now let us give the expression for lateral shift. Okay, this is parallel sided optical medium, and the thickness of this is T and refractive index is N, and this is the normal drawn to the surface of parallel sided optical medium. Okay, we will take that one as glass medium, and AB is the incident ray or incident light incidenting at point P, and this ray is traveling from a rarer medium. Okay, this is rarer medium and this one is denser medium. Okay, when it moves through the denser medium, it bends Okay, this is the initial direction. It bends towards the normal and it is striking at the other face. And again, when it reaches this point, the ray comes out in the same medium, initial medium, that is, it moves from denser medium to rarer medium and it takes this direction. Okay, this ray is emergent ray and this is the direction of incident ray. See, both are in the same direction, but there is change in the path, and it is laterally shifted by certain distance, and this separation between emergent ray and incident ray is called lateral shift. What it is called as lateral shift. Where L represents lateral shift. Now let us give the expression for lateral shift. Okay, here the thickness of glass is taken as T and N is the refractive index of glass slab and L is the lateral shift in terms of angle of incidence and angle of refraction is given by L equal to T divided by cos R into sine of I minus R. Okay, this is the expression. To calculate the value of lateral shift between incident ray and emergent ray, if we know the value of angle of incidence and thickness of the glass slab and angle of refraction. Okay, by this we come to know that lateral shift is directly proportional to T. That means it is directly proportional to thickness of the glass slab. If thickness is small, lateral shift is more. If thickness is small, lateral shift is small. And for normal incidence, there is no lateral shift. Lateral shift is 0. Normal shift. Okay, let us understand what is normal shift. When an object is placed in one medium and viewed from another medium along the normal, then there is an apparent shift in the position of the object, and this is called normal shift. Okay, let me give the example. Take a bucket full of water and place a coin inside the water and try to look at the coin normally, and you feel that the coin is raised by certain height, and this is called normal shift. Okay, now let us see the definition of normal shift. The apparent shift in the position of an object along the normal when placed in one medium and viewed through another medium is called normal shift. Okay, now let me explain. Okay, let us assume that it is a tank filled with water. Let N be the refractive index of water, and object is placed at the bottom of the tank and it is represented by O, and light is coming from the object and it is incidenting at the other face of the tank, and these rays gets refracted, and since the rays are coming from denser medium to rarer medium, they move away from the normal. Okay, when these refracted rays are produced backwards, they meet somewhere at point I. Now, when the object is viewed normally and it is found that the object is raised by certain distance, certain height, and that new position will be I. Okay, this is the apparent shift. When object is viewed from another medium. Okay, when object is viewed from rarer medium, okay, here the apparent shift will be towards the observer. if the object is viewed from denser medium and if the object is in rarer medium, then the apparent shift will be away from the observer. Okay, now let us try to give the relation for normal shift. Okay, here n is the normal shift. The original position of the object is O, and when it is viewed from another medium, there will be apparent change in the position, and that is I, and the real depth is equal to depth of the tank, that is represented by H real, and the apparent depth is H apparent. Now let us give a relation for normal shift. Okay, here when the object is placed in a medium filled with liquid or water of refractive index n, the real depth is equal to H real, and due to refraction the object appears to be raised from its position at point or to point I. Then the refractive index of the medium in which the object is placed is given by n equal to real depth divided by apparent depth. By rearranging the terms, we can express this in terms of apparent depth, that is apparent depth is equal to real depth divided by n. Now normal shift is given by ns is equal to H real minus H apparent. That means normal shift, okay, this is the normal shift, that is equal to real depth minus apparent depth. Real depth minus apparent depth will give the normal shift. Then by further simplification we get n equal to real depth into 1 minus 1 divided by n. Okay, with the help of this equation we can find the normal shift of the object, where H real is the real depth and n is the refractive index of the medium where the object is placed, and capital N is normal shift. Thank you, students. In the next class we will be studying some more topics on this chapter.